victory for old Sienna. Let it be heard from shore to shore. A victory for old Sienna. We'll show our pride forevermore. And when the saints go marching on the field, we'll wave our banner proud and true. And we'll cry cheers, cheers, cheers for old Sienna. Heights the yellow and the blue.
How about them Saints? And how about that band? Thank you. That's beautiful. Good morning, everyone. What a great day we have today. As we get going, I'd like to recognize a few folks here that took time out and made a special trip to be with us. I saw the mayor of the great city of Adrian, Jim Berryman. Where are you? Jim, welcome. Our state senator, Dale Zorn, thanks for all you do and thanks for being here today. We have a large number of trustees here. These folks give tirelessly of their time, talent, and treasure, and I'd like to recognize all those that I saw, and hopefully I have everyone. So if you'd stand and then we'll applause once we're through. Board Chair, Margaret Noe, Rick Haller, Betty Cummings, Ruth LaFontaine, Iqbal Rasht, Judy Francor, Sister Joan Whiteman, and Frank Johnson. Thank you all for, and then we have, Fran Parker's here as well. Fran, welcome. Thank you so much. Sisters, yep, Sister Mary, please. Yep. All right, I missed you, Judy. Yes, yep, Judy Francor. A special group that works also tirelessly along with Sister Peg to help lead the organization forward with a number of really wonderful projects. One that we're celebrating today is the Executive Committee of the Administration. I see a number of folks here. If you'd stand and be recognized. Yep. I know we have, especially this weekend, we couldn't pull this off without the help of our alumni board and all the saintly supporters. So all those in attendance, please rise and be recognized or wave your hands. I know there's a number of folks in the back. We have our partners from Krieghoff Lenawee and the Collaborative. I know, thank you for all the work that you're doing. A big welcome home to all the alums that are here. What a great weekend. The last, absolutely. But before we actually get rolling into the formal program, I wanted to recognize the special group of women on which we stand, on their shoulders, the foundation that they've built, and that's the Adrian Dominican Sisters. Would all the Adrian Dominican Sisters please stand up? So the band played the new Victory March. And it's so, it parallels exactly what's happening today. We're in the shadow of this beautiful gem, the Student Center. Over here, we look behind us, behind all these beautiful people, the marching band and the chamber singers, and we see O'Loughlin Stadium and Dawson Field. And Sister Jean O'Loughlin is with us today as well, aging. And today really is just another step in this progress, this journey, really this continuation of mission that began when Sister Peg said yes to becoming our president. And so, yes. And so while we celebrate today, Sister Peg will tell you there's still a lot of work to do, but today we're going to celebrate. And so Peg, would you please come up and give the official welcome? Thanks.
Well, good morning. I feel like I've been up half the night, so anyway. But it's so wonderful to see so many of you here today. What a wonderful day to come together to celebrate. I mean, my heart is just pumping with joy, and it's so good to have so many of you here. We have been blessed at the Sienna to have such a vital music and theater program throughout the years. Over multiple decades, many have been entertained by our talented students who have been taught and mentored by such dedicated faculty and staff. What a winning combination. You can't lose with that combination. Great students, great faculty and staff. We are extremely grateful to our past donors, Mr. Charles Verheiden and the Francoeur family. They will be recognized in our new the new Mary and Sass Spencer Performing Arts Center. We are also grateful to all of our donors who have contributed to the new theater and the renovation of our present theater for a music hall. Naturally, there are too many to thank because it takes a village to build a new center. Today, we would particularly like to highlight and thank Rick and Deb Haller. Rick is a member. Let's hear it for Rick and Deb. Rick is a member of our Board of Trustees, and both Rick and Deb are dear friends of the university. The new theater will house the Deborah Haller stage. We are so proud and honored to have that name in our building. And Deb, we know Rick is doing this for you because he knows how much you love theater. We are extremely grateful to both of you for your generous donation. Our students who grace the stage will be much better performers and theater professionals because of your goodness to us. Our hearts overflow with gratitude to and for you. We also have with us today Iqbal Rosh and his wife Tanzila, and the lobby of the new theater will be named after their family, Iggy and Tanzila. Iqbal is an alum of Sienna, part of the beautiful losers if people go back that far. Okay. Some of them are here today. I don't like that name. Nobody who graduated from Sienna is a loser. I mean, but you're beautiful at it. Okay, so, all right. Anyway, thank you, Iggy and Tanzila, for your goodness to us. As we bless this place of future building and renovation, we are always conscious of our God who leads us, who guides us, and who loves us every day. We are also conscious of the mission that each one of us live out every day that we learned at this great institution. It's not something we leave behind when we graduate or move on from here. And we witnessed that yesterday with our alumni awards. It's something that you hold and live in your heart forever. And we are indeed a blessed community. And may we in turn then become a blessing to others. I want to thank you. I want to thank our donors, our board members, everybody who Mitch mentioned earlier, especially these wonderful young people standing behind me. They're what it's all about, our future, our future. And so thank you for being here today, and may God truly and deeply bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Peg. You know, one of the really great things about being at Siena Heights University is that you can help form and develop the whole person, and that's also includes the spiritual side. We often say that regardless of faith traditions, we hope that everyone in this community grows in that faith tradition. And actually yesterday, Dean for Students Michael Orlando had referenced that one of the highest forms of prayer is that of thanksgiving. And so it is right that we are here today giving thanks for all the gifts which are ours. We also have formal help in doing that, and our campus ministry team does a really fantastic job in addressing the spiritual needs, the hopes, the dreams of the entire student body. And today we have Father John Grace here to offer a blessing. So John, please come up.
Good morning. I was asked to, bless the groundbreaking, and I found myself in a theological dilemma. How do you bless something that is already holy? And Pope Francis, in our Catholic tradition, and certainly in all the major spiritual traditions of the world, the view of the earth itself is inherently and intrinsically good. It is the gift of the Creator. You can't make holy something that's already holy. So this was my theological dilemma. Blessing the earth is not what I'm about. I am going to instead bless the earth that it might grow from its inherent holiness, the expression of God's Spirit, of wisdom, of truth, of creativity and light. I bless this dirt, for from this dirt will rise from our own creativity and energy a collaboration with the Divine Spirit that infuses all who come through whatever we build a sense of that divine intimacy and love. I bless this earth now that we might collaborate in the same Spirit of God to give life, to raise life up, to bless it in how we treat each other, how we bring out the best in each other, and how we express our best self as human beings intended by God. And so I now pour this water of life, mingled with the dirt of the earth, that the same life might come through all our efforts from here into the future. Let us pray. Gracious God, we ask you to send forth your Spirit upon us, even in our own fears and doubts. Give us a sense and an understanding that we are indeed collaborators with your great design, the design to fulfill life in all dimensions. We ask your blessing to give us the courage to persevere and the humility to be able to be open to all that comes to us as we share this life of community here at Siena Heights University. For we ask this prayer as we always do in the name of Jesus the Lord. Amen. Amen.
So Sister Peg referenced Rick and Debbie Haller, and what a blessing they have been to this community. They really are part of the team. And so Rick's a pretty recent graduate of Siena Heights, maybe 10 years ago or so? 2007, so 9 years ago. And when I first met Rick, it was interesting. During our 90th year anniversary celebration, the marketing team put together 90 significant folks in Siena's history. Obviously we have more than 90 people who graduated from Siena, and we could have had 990 right on that list, but it was just a sampling of some of the folks who have walked the halls, taken classes off campus, and whatnot. And so they put together this list, and it was in no rank order. But when I picked up reflections, I looked, and number one, the first spot, was St. Catherine of Siena. Right below St. Catherine was Rick Haller. And so Rick didn't know me from anyone else. And the day that I called, I said, Rick, I introduced who I was. I said, we don't know each other, but I see that you're second in line from St. Catherine in our Reflections magazine. I'd like to get to know you. And it's been a wonderful partnership ever since. And so Rick's going to get up and say a few words on this special day. And so Rick, please.
I think there's a very long distance between number 1 and number 2, I have to tell you. Anyway, it's a good morning to everyone. It's a beautiful day here today, and Debbie and I are very proud and thrilled to be representing the benefactors, the sponsors, and the donors for this new facility for performing arts here at Siena Heights. You know, today really represents a new beginning, and for the students that are engaged in the performing arts and those that just are patrons and enjoy it as a hobby or something to kind of break the monotony of studies. It's certainly a new beginning for our faculty. It's a new beginning for the community of Adrian that enjoys some of the programs that our sponsors as well as patrons and engaged in the community as well as engaged in certain programs here that are offered through the Performing Arts Center. I've been involved in a lot of groundbreakings, and they're very symbolic because they're symbolic of change, that something's going to happen, that there's being now an initiation of change. Like many of us, we all have had mentors in our lives, excuse me, and I have a mentor that's part of this local community, and we have lunch every now and then, and this particular time we had lunch and she said, Rick, I want to talk to you about change. And it kind of startled me that we were going to talk about something so serious as change. And so she went on to say that change is kind of it's a process, it's an action. It takes vision or a need or a cause, and it begins to take it to an outcome. So change is an active word, and it kind of demonstrates that activity. Well, I said I understood that, and being involved in change all my life in construction, it was meaningful. But she said something else that startled me. And she said to me, she said, you know, change requires commitment. And I said, okay, I understand that. It requires commitment and you're committed to it. But she said, you know something about commitment? It's irrational. Now I'm really startled. It's irrational. What does that mean? And it took me a while to process what she was trying to help me understand. That reasoning, rationality is all up here. And oftentimes that's where vision lies, that's where cause lies, that's where need is. You begin to formulate an outcome that you're looking for. But without commitment, without that action, without connecting your head and your heart, it doesn't happen. It's never successful. And so that's one of the things that I walked away from that luncheon, and it's kind of stuck with me. So today, it's really an important part to remember that vision without commitment is just a vision. And as I looked around and I spent time with the leadership team, and I know Sister Peg and Mitch and the whole leadership team is really committed that this happen, and the actions and how they approach and sit down and really encourage folks to be a participant in developing this center is really an important part of their commitment to it. I know the students and faculty are very committed to it, and talking to Mark, I know how he feels about what's happening, what the future is going to bring here with the new Performing Arts Center. So that its commitment is very obvious in what's happening. Debbie and I see it, and when we see that commitment, it's as breathtaking as a great performance, or as a great musical performance or a theatrical performance. And I want to just make sure that you all understand that as Deb and I representing all the donors, that we are committed to this, and we are committed to making this happen and making this a reality for the future here on campus. Now I just want to divert for a minute for a personal comment. I wouldn't be here myself. I wouldn't be here without my wife's vision and passion for the performing arts. It's been through her eyes that I've seen what the performing arts is all about, what all media of arts are about. She's taken me, usually it's anytime we travel, the first place that she begins looking for where are the museums and what's happening in the theater. But it's been through her eyes that our sons have grown to appreciate it, to appreciate theater in spite of their life directions. They're not in performing arts, but they take the time to enjoy it. It's through her passion that raising two active boys, and you know that generally performing arts isn't where their activities are. She went back to school, got her degree in art history and French. And then after her sons grew up, she began supporting local theater so that young people could get engaged in the front end of theater and performing, or in the back end, or however they could get involved. She wanted to make sure that they could appreciate the arts as much as she has. So it's through her commitment and her passion that I'm here. And so I want to thank her for her commitment, and I want to thank all of you for your commitment and passion to what's happening here today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick. So before I call Mark DiPietro up to speak, I was looking over at the crowd, and I was thinking about, you know, when we started football, when we broke ground, the local newspaper did a feature on two Lenawee legends. One was Fred Smith, our athletic director, and the other is Jim Lyle, our still part of the Siena community, but most recent former head football coach. And so I was looking, and I know Mark certainly fits that bill, that legend, and then I saw Trudy McSorley over there as well. And then right to her right, to our left, is a Siena graduate and state representative, Leslie Love. So Leslie, we're glad you're here too. But really, theater in this community would not be what it is today, what it has been, what it will be tomorrow, without that group of really dedicated faculty and staff that's really committed to the arts. And so, on their behalf, I'd like to welcome Mark up to say a few words. Mark.
Thank you, Mitch, for that introduction and all of your labors. Lee, here we are. Good morning, Sister Peg. Rick, thank you for all your words. Deb, let's talk about what show you want to see on the stage, okay? To all the members of the Board of Trustees, to all the donors, but most importantly, to all the members of the Siena Heights community, on behalf of the faculty, the staff, and most importantly, the students, I say again, thank you. We here at Siena are truly being watched over, and our mission is truly blessed. The history of this new building, which we celebrate today, is a greatly rich one. Goes back to Madden Hall on the Mother House campus in what was affectionately called the Old Aud. There, St. Joseph Academy and Siena Heights College and the Young Sisters of the Novitiate would put on shows on a makeshift stage. These shows were often choric dramas, verse choirs, or musical choral performances. Then, in the 1930s, Walsh Hall was built. The college campus housed the music and speech drama activities there. Music flourished under the direction of Sister Mary Louise Wald, Sister Denise Manville, and Sister Maura Clark. Sister Leonella Bartledge directed the speech and drama department. She would direct passion plays during Lent and plays about the lives of different saints, which can get pretty gruesome. Sister Leonella, who chaired the speech and drama department until the mid-1960s, also established a radio station housed on the bottom floor of Sacred Heart Hall, where currently the marketing and communications offices are. Doug knew that. By the mid-1960s, Sister Therese Craig came to Siena Heights, and the speech and drama program started to look more like it does today. Sister Therese and Maura Clark collaborated, bringing music and theater together to produce such musical as The King and I, starring Sue Madish Hager, Sound of Music, Sister Peg.
That's the first one.
Oh, well, okay. Well, many others as well. By the late 1960s, it was apparent that Walsh Hall could no longer hold this growing department of music. Theater had moved over from 5th floor of Sacred Heart Hall, and my predecessors began raising funds for what we now know as Francoeur Theater, which opened in 1972, and it was just Francoeur Theater That opened with a production of My Fair Lady, starring Glenn Crane, directed by Therese Tighe, who was a faculty member, and Glenn Crane was also a faculty member. 2 years later, the entire facility, what we now know as Verheyden Performing Arts Center, was built. The first production there was Androcles and the Lion, starring Doug Miller, Julianne Dolan, and directed by my very dear friend, mentor, and teacher, Trudy McSorley. So this facility has seen a great deal. It necessitated the move, or it was necessitated, and the move from 5th floor of Sacred Heart for theater, Walsh Hall for music. It provided new offices, an expanded scene shop, a video and sound production lab, classrooms, a beautiful creative dramatic studio, which is now called the Lab Theater. And this growth brought in more faculty. Some names you may remember. Sister Therese Tighe came in the 60s. Glenn Crane, they were here. But by the mid-70s, we had faculty who are a who's who of theatrical experts. Sister Magdalena Ezaway in music, Sue Madish Hager in music. Soon others joined, Bob Soler in theater, Trudy McSorley in child drama, Mike Lorenz in music, Sister Marie Carroll in theater, many, many, many more. And of course, now we have great, great faculty, as Rick alluded to. Dr. Kelly Ford, Wes King, Carrie Graves, Dan Walker, Joni Warner. And everybody knows that if you want anything in the PAC, you don't go to the division chair, you go to Amy Sturdivant. Amy, I'm not surprised people applauded for that. Everybody knows Amy. And they all have something in common with our predecessor. All have one thing in common, and that is our students. Thank you. So as the years progress, thousands of children and college students have worked their art in this well-worn facility. Our alums are spread out all over the country, and I am in regular communication, thanks to Facebook, with a theater manager who is an alum who lives in Melbourne, Australia. We are everywhere. And they continue to work in every area of the performing arts. It has made a difference. What we do does make a difference. And this new facility will help bring the arts to those not only who live it, but those who have never been exposed to it. And that number is high, and we're doing our best. So today we celebrate another milestone. Under Sister Peg Albert's direction and wisdom and the generosity of our benefactors, we are gratefully breaking ground for yet another part of our history. What is happening today means so much to so many. Keep bright the fire and high the flame. Siena is a holy name.
Thank you, Mark, and amen. Well, here's a fun part of the program. We'll be blessed with the chamber singers as they sing Consecrate This Place and Day.
Consecrate the place and day to music and Cecilia. Consecrate, 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 consecrate. Consecrate the place and day. Let Laura breathe the throne, no daring, no daring, the hallowed house, no ruling shake the tomb, for the fleeting, fleeting sound, no sign, no sound, no groan be heard, but gladness spread on every tongue, whilst all with voice and strings we can keep up the loud harmonious sound, and imitate the blessed above in joy, harmony, and in imitate the blessed abounding joy and harmony. Joy.
Say it again. How about them saints? All right. At this point in the program, I'd like to invite Sister Peg, Mark DiPietro, Rick and Deb Haller, Iqbal and Tanzilla, our representatives from both the Cree Golf and the Collaborative, up, as well as Board Chair Margaret Noe and Lee Johnson for the groundbreaking, at least the first round of groundbreaking.
We have one more.
On this side. Yeah, I'm sure you do.
It looks good too.